Broadcasting from parts unknown USA, it's the many moods of Ben Vaughn.
All right, we're going to hear a song by Rod McKuen right now. Not a poem, but a song. And where do you start with an appreciation of Rod? I think probably the best way, musically anyway, is to play a medley of a few songs that he had something to do with that you might recognize.
Jean, Jean, the roses are red, and all of the leaves have gone green, and the clouds are so low, you can touch them, and so come out to the meadow, Jean. Jean, Jean, you're young and alive. We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the wine and the song, like the seasons, have all gone. If you go away on this summer day, then you might as well take the sun away. All the birds that flew in the summer sky when our love was new and our hearts were high, when the day was young and the night was long and the moon stood still for the night bird's song. If you go away, ne me quitte pas. If you go away, ne me quitte pas. I have been a rover, I've walked alone, hiked 100 highways, and never found a home. Still and all I'm happy. The reason is, you see, once in a while, along the way, love's been good to me. There was a girl in Portland.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you recognize some of those tunes. Two of them were English translations of Jacques Brel songs, but the other two were Rod McKuen originals from top to bottom. And yeah, Rod McKuen, where do you start with a guy like Rod McKuen? I mean, the guy was omnipresent back in the 60s and 70s. He was everywhere. I mean, he was everywhere. And I have documentation here. Let's see, in the year 1968 alone, he sold 1 million copies of his poetry books, and he was translated into 11 languages. And he's still considered the biggest selling living poet of all time. But he was a songwriter, too. He was recorded by Johnny Cash, Dusty Springfield, Waylon Jennings. Madonna recently used part of a Rod McKuen song on one of her hits, and he's been covered by Gene Ween of Ween, and also Frank Sinatra recorded an entire album of Rod McKuen songs back in the 60s, which was unheard of. And Frank Sinatra's name also shows up as a photo credit on the back of one of Rod's poetry books. It's a picture of Rod relaxing on a sailboat, and the photo credit is by Frank Sinatra. And the first time I ever heard Rod McKuen was on the Johnny Cash TV show back in the late 60s, which was a great TV show. Johnny Cash had some amazing guests on there. He had Bob Dylan and Waylon Jennings, and I think he had Joe South and Tony Joe White and Bobby Gentry. Really, really great guests. And he had Rod McKuen on, and Rod came out and he said, I wrote a poem especially for this occasion. And he read this poem about a train. And it was a pretty good poem. And his delivery was really good and relaxed. And then Johnny Cash came out and said, I knew Rod McKuen was going to be here today, so I wrote a poem too. And then he read a poem about a train that he wrote. And then they did a duet on a Rod McKuen song about a train. And it was really great. I was really impressed with Rod McKuen because he seemed really relaxed, and he was dressed very casually. He had on a sweatshirt and tennis sneakers, and Johnny really seemed to admire him. So I was surprised later on when I found out that the critics absolutely hated Rod McKuen. I mean, Johnny Cash liked him, but the critics just, he was like the punchline to a joke. And I can sort of understand it because at the time Hendrix was burning his guitar and the Who were destroying their equipment, and all kinds of crazy stuff was happening in the counterculture. And Rod McKuen was writing songs with titles like I'm Strong, but I Like Roses. It just didn't fit in. It just didn't fit in with the times. And a lot of my friends also had a lot of fun making fun of Rod McKuen, and I'm sure I was guilty of the same. But I started collecting his records because I liked that one song. So whenever I saw a Rod McKuen album, I would buy it, hoping to find a songwriting gem in there somewhere. And through the years, I found quite a few really, really good songs by Rod McKuen. And we're going to hear one right now. And this is the song that he did the duet with Johnny Cash on TV back in the 60s. This is called Doesn't Anybody Know My Name? And I apologize up front. This record has a lot of scratches on it. This was something he did when he was a fledgling young folk singer in the early 60s. Doesn't Anybody Know My Name? By Rod McKuen.
I've been away so long, fought a war that's come and gone. Doesn't anybody know my name? My sister's up and wed, my mama's took to bed. Now my old dog Red's gone lame. Please tell me if you can, what time do the trains roll in? 2:10, 6:18, 10:44. The hedge is turning brown, the house is falling down. Doesn't anybody know my name? The girl I left behind has gone to Caroline. I don't have to read a sign to know things ain't the same. Please tell me if you can, what time do the trains roll in? 2:10, 6:18, 10:44. You can't go far away on just a soldier's pay. Doesn't anybody know my name? Used to be when I could see, everybody wanted me. Now nobody comes to see the blind man take the train. Please tell me if you can, what time do the trains roll in? 2:10, 6:18, 10:44. 2:10, 6:18, 10:44.